Hi everybody, it's Kirei here for Bramble Fox with my first layout using the fabulous new November Fox box. And I've pulled out the little treat, the mug and the coffee pot perspectives. And I'm also going to use the paper snips and the Fox cut stencil that come with the Fox box plus subscription. So I'm pulling out some pattern papers here and I'm using the Simple Stories Wildflower collection. I really love the sort of muted colours in this collection, and I just thought they worked particularly well with the paper snips. So I'm just sort of trimming down a few pieces into effectively like long strips, rectangle type shapes, and I'm just going to create sort of a cross, well, sort of a vertical and a horizontal using the different pattern papers. So I'm just sort of working out which ones I want to go where and just trimming them down to the right size. And then this will be the basis really for the layout, and then I can build up my photo and embellishment clusters on this sort of T, I guess, sideways T. Yeah. So you can see I've got the paper snips on the left there, and I'm going to cut a number of those elements out and use some of the word phrases as well because they go particularly well with my photo. And the photo is of this enormous hot chocolate. Honestly, I mean, I'm not complaining. I love a hot chocolate, but this was particularly big, and it had filled with marshmallows and a slice of Terry's chocolate orange on the top. What better could you want? Anyway, so we were staying with friends, and it was just after Christmas last year, and we were just in their village, and it was a really lovely little like coffee shop, and yeah, the most amazing hot chocolate. So it was definitely it wasn't a little treat; it was a pretty big treat, to be fair. Okay, so I've got the paper snips and I'm just snipping off. I've got some of the words there. I've got that cup of, well, it is a mug of hot chocolate. I've got this one here that I don't end up using actually. There's that pie, and I've got the word snips, the little snips, the delicious treat, happy little moments, and time for me. And I'm going to use those in and amongst the coordinating simple stories wildflower ephemera. So I'm just distressing the edges of the strips here. I don't think you have any layout where I don't distress the edges, to be fair. And so I've done those first three strips, but I'm just sort of going, right, I'm going to add some stenciled detail to the background. And I've got this fabulous new stencil. It's Fox Cut number 79. That comes with the Fox Box Plus subscription. And I love adding a little bit of background detail. So these are perfect. And it's really random sort of circles and like diamonds. And I'm just using the Distress Oxide in Speckled Egg. And I'm just going to have a little bit behind the photo, and I'm just sort of keep playing around, put my photo, making sure that I can see it. And then I'm going to add some to the bottom here. And then I'm going to add a little bit over onto that left side. And it's really up to you from a stencil perspective. I've kept it quite soft, and the speckled egg colour is perfect. It matches in really nicely with the pattern papers I'm using. Yes, I'm just adding a little bit down the side here. And I do come back later. That's the beauty of adding sort of stencil backgrounds. You can just sort of add in a little bit later if you need to, because once I sort of layered up my photo and embellishments and added my journaling, I realised I just wanted to bring it further down, a little bit more down the bottom, and I added a little bit more above the photo too. Okay, finishing off the distressing of these last two strips. Oh, coming back in already. I've decided. I think I worked out when I'd added the strips that I needed a little bit more on the left there, closer to the side, to the edge. Otherwise, I was covering up too much of it. So I'll bring out my T-square ruler just to make sure that it's straight. Of course, I could not have a wonky line, and then I can just get these stuck down. Now these are all being stuck down one over the other. They are distressed edges, and anyway, which obviously creates some element of texture. And then I will lift all the edges once I've got them all stuck down as well. So then you get that sort of added dimension. So even though the papers are all flat, you still get plenty of texture and dimension by doing that. Okay, here we go. I realized I needed to stick the bottom one down and layer it up with that top piece there. So here we go, just getting that one on, just getting that little pop of sort of mustardy yellow, and then the stripes over the top. I love layering up pattern papers. And when you're working with a collection, it's really easy because they all coordinate anyway. But I really love the look that it has by just building up layers of patterns and different colours. So yeah, this was perfect. Okay, here you go. I'm just lifting all those edges now, so this gives me that extra sort of level of dimension. Photo, I'm going to mount that on this really pretty floral and just have, so I just get a little bit of the different colors peeking out. So that sort of pinky orangey tone, you've still got this sort of soft bluey green and a little bit of the yellow as well. And then I'll get that stuck down. I'm just going to use some foam pads on the top edge of the photo, and then I'll keep it flat at the bottom. And I keep it flat at the bottom because that's where I'm going to build up my embellishment cluster, and that just makes it a little easier. I've got my little treat perspective, which I'm going to use as my title, and I'll get that stuck down using some glossy accents to hold it nice and firmly. That'll just sit there to the right of the photo. Apologies for my head. Yeah, right into the start of some grey roots coming through. Sorry about that. Excuse me. And then I'm bringing in the ephemera, and I'm going to use some of the florals because I like the sort of pinky orangey tones, and that'll work well with some of the paper snips that I've already fussy cut out. Got that circle with the simple things, and then just sort of leaves and flower clusters building in. Oh, there's a little pie that I'm bringing in there. And now I can start to get these stuck down now that I know what I'm doing, and I'm happy with that. I've raised that simple things one up on some foam pads. And when I stick these pieces down, I only ever add sort of wet glue to the center because I curve all the edges up anyway. Because again, I just don't have flat. I don't tend to have anything just all stuck flat. I like just seeing the sort of level because it adds sort of, I guess, sort of layers and shadows, and yeah, I really like. So here we go, and I'm again with the branches and things. I'm just adding glue at the sort of one end, so you get that raised effect. Popping in some more of the flowers there. And then I'm coming over to the right, and I've got the coffee pot and the mug and the flowers. So I'm going to get the flower cluster just laid down, and then the mug and the coffee pot are going to sit over each other. So I'm just making sure that pot's down firmly, and I'm adding plenty of glossy accents on here. And I'm just going to make sure that's really holding well because it's obviously not flat to the layout. So I just need to make sure that it's there's plenty of glue on the part that is sitting on the layout. Popped in the paper snips, that cup of hot chocolate there with the cream on the top, and then just finishing off adding sort of extra leaves and elements there. And then, oh, yep, still finishing off over on that left side. And then I can bring in some more of the little paper snips, the little words. So I've got, as I said, delicious treat, happy little moments, and time for me. And the colours were perfect with the papers I was using. So, and just worked in really nicely. I am raising them all up on foam pads. So again, I didn't want to have them sat there flat. So just give them some dimension. Now, don't forget, pop on over to bramblefox.co.uk. If you're not already a subscriber, you can find out all the details about subscribing to the monthly Foxbox subscription and the details about the Foxbox Plus subscription. With that, you get the added paper snips and the Fox cut stencil every month. So lots that you can work with for on your layout. What I've done here, I've just punched out one of the circles from the paper snips, and it has sweet treat on it, and then I've just layered over it the DIY. It's like an epoxy flare button, and it creates like a little DIY flare, and I've just popped that in over to the right, and then I'm just bringing in some more of these brads from the Simple Stories Wildflower collection and just adding those in. Oh, there we go. I've just stuck the flare down, and then just finishing off with some brads. When I say brads, they're brads, but they don't have any legs behind them. They're sticky brads, which are nice and easy to use. I've got some gold ink here, and I am just going to add some gold splatters to in and around my clusters. And then I'm pretty much done. I do add some journaling below the photo off camera, and you'll see that in just a moment. You'll also see where I extended the stenciling down at the bottom and at the top as well. Here we go with some of the close-ups where you'll see the perspectives I've used, the paper snips, and the fox cut, the stenciling detail. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.